things that have taken place. Former Prince Andrew was arrested over suspected misconduct in public office.
News from England, you've heard about it by now, where the King's brother Andrew once...
This might come as a surprise to you, but in other countries, even if you're a part of the fucking monarchy, you can actually receive some legal scrutiny, it seems, when you are a part of an international sex trafficking conspiracy.
Second in line to
we
the
don't know
British
about that in
throne,
America, of course.
was arrested by police at his home this morning. Andrew has been detained on suspicion of misconduct amid the growing uproar following the release of those Jeffrey Epstein files. Ramy Inocencio is outside Buckingham Palace with the latest. Ramy, good morning. This is a stunning turn of events. What can you tell us?
Gail, yes, absolutely stunning. Massive news here. The arrest of a British royal at about 8 a.m. this morning. British police arrived at the home of Andrew. We understand that that involved 6 unmarked cars and 8 plainclothes officers. And this is linked to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Not for that, but on suspicion of misconduct while in public office, and that carries a maximum penalty of life in prison.
Photographed on all fours over a female in the Justice Department's most recent release of Jeffrey Epstein's emails, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was arrested at Sandringham, the private estate of his brother King Charles, about 3 hours north of London. On suspicion, Andrew, as trade envoy in the 2000s, shared confidential information with Jeffrey Epstein about investment opportunities around the world, including Afghanistan and Hong Kong. In a statement, police confirmed, "We have today arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk and carrying out searches at 2 addresses. He remains in police custody and will not be named." Andrew has vehemently denied any wrongdoing whatsoever since he befriended Epstein in 1999.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady.
Including knowing Virginia Giuffre, who accused Epstein of sex trafficking her as a teenager. She took her life last year. Today, her family released a statement saying that Mountbatten Windsor was never a prince.
What? Is that how that works? Like when they take away your prince status, you're just never considered a prince at all? He was simply known as a prince, but he was not a real prince. I'm sorry, but you cannot tell me that capitalism does not create an identical power structure to monarchies when symbolic monarchies have more pressure on monarchs than American capitalism does on its ruling class. What are we doing? America is literally a fucking monarchy, a theocratic monarchy, but the religion is capitalism. The false notion that undergirds the system that directly creates a structure of power for those in positions of power is meritocracy, the myth of meritocracy. Instead of saying, God has ordained you to be the king, to rule over this land, we say, meritocracy is real, and this person worked hard and worked smart, and that's why he must rule over me. The lie that it tells people, the lie that it tells the average commoner is that one day you too can be a king. Now, monarchs didn't do that. But that lie, I think, has given capitalism its staying power. But how can you look at this system and think it's anything different than fucking feudalism when American oligarchs are not being punished, but monarchs are? I mean, that's a whole ass prince. Now, I don't know how hard they'll get punished, but this is more scrutiny for a whole ass prince than this is scrutiny for a whole ass prince than we have offered our princes, our lordship, our elites.
He was stripped of all royal titles last year and has been under mounting pressure to testify in front of the U.S. Congress.
How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein?
King Charles and Queen Camilla earlier this month said they stand ready to support the police in their investigation. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer applied political pressure.
Everybody is equal under the law, and nobody is above the law, and it applies, and it has to apply in this case in the same way as it.
Yeah, not to your buddies though. I mean, your buddies were heavily involved too. Your besties, right?
In any other case.
So much pressure now building on Andrew, the former prince. Also of note, it's his 66th birthday. Gail.
Thank you very much, Remy and Ocencio, reporting from London. We want to read now the entire statement from Virginia Giuffre's family. It reads this: "At last today, our broken hearts have been lifted at the news that no one is above the law, not even royalty. On behalf of our sister, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, we extend our gratitude to the UK Thames Valley Police for their investigation and the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He was never a prince for survivors everywhere. Virginia did this for you." Let's bring in our CBS News royal contributor. That's Roya Nika. She is a royal editor for Britain's Sunday Times.
It is kind of funny to me, though, that it's like we got... Dude, we got fucking... We have CBS News as royal contributors. Like, we got CBS News on the royalty beat. That blows my mind, okay? That blows my mind. What are we doing? I guess it's good. I don't know. But, like, I feel like more focus should be on potentially having a beat on labor, maybe? I don't know. Literally, we all have royal correspondents on all the networks. Yeah, it's crazy to me. Maybe I'm too woke for this. I don't know. Maybe I'm not cut out for this, but I think like the royalty beat is crazy, especially in America.
And I know that she's getting in position even as we speak. But Roya, we're very excited to have you this morning because we all woke up to this news. And I have to say, we're all still processing it here in the States. I can't imagine what's happening in the UK. Do you know yet if the king is going to respond directly to the arrest of his brother?
Well, good morning, Gail. This is all happening very fast, but we have just literally this minute had a statement from the king about the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, and I can read that statement to you now. He says, "I've learned with the deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and the suspicion of misconduct in public office. What now follows is the full, fair and proper process by which this issue is investigated in the appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. In this, as I've said before, they have our full, wholehearted support and cooperation. Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. As this process continues, it would not be right for me to comment further on this matter. Meanwhile, my family and I will continue in our duty and service to you all." And that statement from the king is signed Charles R. So that is the response. Extraordinarily, we are due to see the king open London Fashion Week imminently, as his brother has been arrested this morning. So that's just in, Gail.
Yeah, I'm wondering, it was stunning. For us here in the United States, did you all have any heads up? Was there any talk that this was possibly in the works? Were you all as surprised as we were here in the U.S.?
There has been momentum building over the last few days, Gail. We saw yesterday, I think, an accumulation of around 7 or 8 police forces getting involved. We also had the involvement announced yesterday of the NCA, which is our national crime agency, sometimes described as the British FBI. So there has been a feeling that police forces could no longer not look at this very seriously, and I think it has been moving in one direction. That said, to see those police cars arriving, about 8 of them this morning, at the Sandringham estate, at Wood Farm, where Andrew is temporarily staying, is quite a moment. This is the King's brother who has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in a public office, the first senior royal to ever be arrested.
Roya, it's Vlad. How do we...
It's crazy. It is all... Okay. One immediate comparison here, obviously, is like how unimaginably powerful our, liberal capitalist system has created, beacons of power that are equivalent to the lords of the past, right? Under, feudalism. 100%. Like Elon Musk is literally a god king, right? And what's interesting to me is that liberal capitalism is so successful at creating a process that shifts people's attention away from that indecent consolidation of power that is unchecked, that we will offer kings and princes as the sacrificial lamb before we fucking approach a banker. Okay? Think about that. This motherfucker was a prince. Liberal capitalism is so domineering a force that a monarch who is second in line to the throne will get thrown to slaughter before we touch a banker that has done the same shit that Prince Andrew has done. It's not even a question. Even people who work at the behest of those bankers, at the behest of that international pedophilic cabal, people like Mendelsohn, who were directly aligned with Jeffrey Epstein, who were working at the interest of American capital and international capital, those guys don't receive this level of scrutiny. It is crazy. Think about that. We all understand in our hearts as children that have been born into an environment where liberalism is the monoculture, is the hegemonic, domineering superstructure. We know liberalism. We've learned about liberalism. We know that it's an evolution away from monarchies. We know monarchies are bad. They're undemocratic. We believe in the democratic process. But how is this Epstein shit not causing you to realize that consolidation of power that existed in monarchies is still very much intact right now? It's crazy. We're all a bunch of fucking serfs, man. We're serfs with iPhones, basically. We're serfs that eat hot Cheetos. And we delude ourselves into thinking that we've achieved freedom. We have not. We've deluded ourselves into thinking that we live in a just process where justice will be served. And sure, maybe we have more freedoms in some ways. There's a court system that's supposed to be intact. There's a court system that's supposed to adjudicate evenly. But when push comes to shove and the very wealthy, very powerful get caught with their pants down, sometimes literally, sometimes figuratively, no punishments come for them. If you are a regular working class individual and you get caught with a baggie of cocaine, you're receiving a heavy penalty. If you're black and you get caught with a bag of crack, you receive an even larger penalty. If you're RFK Jr., a member of the American royalty, you can talk about how you did cocaine off of toilet seats and you're fine. You're the head of the HHS. If you are Leon Black and you've been for years under legal scrutiny in and out of court cases for all of the victims that you participated in this international sex trafficking conspiracy with as a co-conspirator, you can still maintain your billions of dollars. Nothing happens. I mean, that's not a real just process at all. That's not a real system of justice. That's not abiding by the principles of the rule of law that is evenly applied to every single person, that no man is above the law. It's bullshit. These guys are still very much gods. They're very much kings that live amongst us. And we think, or rather, we delude ourselves into thinking that we can be like them one day. And that's why the system is actually much better. It's far superior. But if you pulled yourself out and approached the issue holistically, you would realize that there's fundamentally no difference between the feudal structure that we used to exist under versus what we have now under liberal capitalism. The only thing is the system defends itself a lot better. That's it.
Have we heard anything at all from the prince's former wife, Sarah Ferguson, and his daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, and how they are perhaps reacting to this news?
But at the moment, this is all very new. We have not yet heard from the former Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, or from Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. It has been quite interesting in the last few weeks. Sarah Ferguson, we know, has been abroad a little bit. She has kept a very low profile, as have the princesses. Obviously, very difficult time for them. It's been made very clear from the palace and from the king that regardless of what Andrew Mountbatten Windsor may or may not have done, and we must stress he has always denied any wrongdoing in this issue, that the king has always been very clear to keep the girls close, but this is going to be a very difficult time for them. Things have seriously escalated now.
Roya, the phrase misconduct in office, what exactly does that mean? I'm not familiar with that. And what happens now?
Well, misconduct in a public office.
What is it, like a guy next to her just like picking up gravel with a shovel? What's happening?
There's various forms of it. What the police are looking at specifically here is the emergence of what the emails in the Epstein files appear to show, which is that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, during his decade as the UK's trade envoy from 2001 to 2011, appeared to send sensitive, highly classified documents and information, government information, briefing information on things like reconstruction in Afghanistan, on things like investment opportunities in around the world, from his trips around the world, from China contacts, to Jeffrey Epstein. And there is a suggestion, not proven, there's a possibility that Jeffrey Epstein may have used some of that information to his financial advantage. We must stress again that Andrew has not been charged. He has merely been arrested on suspicion of this and denies any wrongdoing. But if someone is charged and if they are found guilty of that offence, it does carry a maximum life sentence.
Wow. All right. Roy and Nika, we appreciate you getting on the air for us this morning with the breaking news. Thank you very much.
Thames Valley Police is able to provide an update in relation to investigation into the offence of misconduct in public office.
It's no longer Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. It's Andrew Mountbatten. No Windsor. No Prince. I see a path. I know you do too. Billionaires versus solidarity. Yes.
On Thursday,
billionaires are functionally no different than the tyrants of the old ages, tyrants, the monarchs, the fucking lords, right? The reality is they now have more power than even the symbolic monarchs do. It's clear. It's clear. Under liberal capitalism, a billionaire has more power than a fucking monarch does. Okay, a prince can receive more scrutiny from the system, albeit symbolic, albeit as a sacrificial lamb to throw some red meat in the face of the masses to make them feel like the system is still working. But it's clear that Les Wexner, Leon Black, and even some of their more prominent servants, like Mendelssohn in the UK, or even Keir Starmer, will receive less penalties than a fucking monarch does. Yeah, I saw. This is what he looked like too, which is really funny. History repeats. And it rhymes, but it also repeats. This is what I said. Tell me the U.S. doesn't have the same power structure as monarchs of the old when you have princes receiving more legal scrutiny in the UK than we offer our oligarchs who are just as compromised by Epstein. This is the great lie of liberal capitalism. Now, of course, it's been released, but I'm just saying, like who's gotten their fucking fingerprints? Who's gotten their photos taken? Who's been perp walked in the United States of America amongst the wealthiest Epstein class? Who?
19th of February, we arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The arrested man has now been released under investigation. We can also confirm that our searches in Norfolk have now concluded.
We begin with the stunning arrest today of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. We have late word that Andrew has been released after spending most of the day in police custody. Police in Britain arrested the former prince this morning.
British press working overtime, including Emily Matlow, who famously conducted that train wreck interview with Andrew. Fucking hate my country's media. This is a pretty grave moment.
The reasons I'm gobsmacked is because there is something very personal in this as well, and we talk a lot about people's sort of state of mind and health and all the rest of it. And I suppose I do feel, I feel concern actually as I'm watching this story unfold.
Why?
And I suppose that two things can be simultaneously true, that it can have been a long time coming. But when it does, there is somebody at the centre of it, and it is a father, and there are children.
Are you fuckers? What? Dude, I swear to God, every British person has a chip in their brain. I swear to God. They have a surf chip and it activated. Lady, you cooked his ass. You played a more significant role in moving this along than the average person did, okay? And for that, I thank you, okay? This got to be out of context or something, but I just don't understand how this can be in context at all. I don't. How can you be so servile? Like, what the fuck? A pretty grave moment, sighs Emily Maitlis, the same journalist who once watched Prince Andrew tie himself in the knots, denying he could sweat. How noble the sudden tenderness for a man whose closest friends ran an international trafficking ring. One almost feels for him. Almost. The real grave moments, of course, belong to the girls who never got royal protection or a sympathetic interview on LBC. Priorities. So this doesn't make any sense, because you know who else had fathers, had sisters, had daughters later down the line, loved ones? The victims. Victims of Andrew Mountbatten. You know? Everybody's got family. The fuck do you mean? Oh, wow, we have to offer our condolences and our sympathy to this, like, true villain. If we cannot establish that there are real villains, even in this, like, liberal structure that we exist in, this liberal hegemony that we exist under, if we cannot say an international sex trafficker and their closest associates are fucking villains, no one is a villain. There are no villains at that point. You know who the villain is? You. Okay? If you are a rapist as a working class individual, you're a villain. If you're a rapist as a king, as a prince, then you're a victim. You're a victim of your own, you're a victim of this system. It's crazy. Offer more sympathy to people who have done wrong, not, participated in international sex trafficking of children, of course, but just like, done crimes of circumstance, engaged in crimes of circumstance. Offer more sympathy to those people than you do to the fucking people at the tippy top. What are we doing? I feel like people's priorities are completely swapped for some fucking crazy reason. We need to be more sympathetic to the working poor that ends up stealing shit because they want to fucking feed their family, whether it's a Gucci bag or not. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You can't sell the bread. Bread can't actually substitute for rent. Gucci bags can, right? I don't understand it. I don't understand how you can just look at a system or look at victims of systemic forces and not offer them a shred of sympathy, but then you find all the sympathy in the end for a guy who is objectively like a straight up comic book villain, like so evil that it's comical almost. Unfortunately, it's not funny at all because it's real life and there are real victims. She's saying that she has, she's reflecting on the moment of former Prince Andrew getting arrested and thinking, well, this person is a father.
Simultaneously true that it can have been a long time coming, but when it does, there is somebody at the centre of it, and it is a father, and there are children, and there is a mental health question. And I suppose that's what's sort of holding me back a bit and saying this is a pretty serious moment. You know, it's a grave moment. It's not a sort of jumping up and down moment.
No, of course not.
I think one of the reasons I'm gobsmacked.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I mean, that makes no fucking sense. What does that even mean, bro? Oh my God, the Les Wexner full deposition to House Democrats on the Epstein files just came out. Woo! Who remembers Emily Maitlis sat in front of a backdrop of Corbyn with a Photoshop hat and Kremlin? BBC fine with that, but not with her remarks about Cummings. Yeah, BBC's fine with this, but not her remarks about Prince Andrew either. LBC. Now she's at LBC talking about Prince Andrew being a victim of the system. It's like, no. It's crazy to me that you could just sit there and say, what about it, with your posh accent on mainstream television, on a mainstream news outlet, and say, what about the feelings of the international pedophilic cabal? What about it? Yeah, I don't care, man. I mean, call me too woke. Call me woke, but I don't fucking give a shit about the feelings of international sex traffickers and members of the Epstein class. You know who does, though? And there is like elite solidarity there. Donald Trump. Here's what Donald Trump had to say when asked about the arrest of the former Prince Andrew.
It's not a good one, Peter. What do you think?
I got a question about something big overseas today. The former Prince Andrew arrested by the police there, related to something with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think people in this country at some point, associates of Jeffrey Epstein, will wind up in handcuffs too?
Well, you know, I'm the expert in a way because I've been totally exonerated.
Yeah, I'm the expert at being a participant in the pedophile class. POG, I call it pedophile occupied government. I'm the expert of pedophilia. Totally exonerated. Have you been? Have you been totally exonerated? I don't think so. I'm the least guilty man in America. From the standpoint of pedophilia, no one is less guilty than me.
That's very nice. I can actually speak about it very nicely. I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family. It's a very, very sad. To me, it's a very sad thing. When I see that, it's a very sad thing to see it and to see what's going on with his brother, who's obviously coming to our country very soon, and he's a fantastic man, the king. So I think it's a very sad thing.
It's a real shame. It's a real shame that the pedophilic prince is receiving a little bit of scrutiny from the legal system, just like a little bit. He's out already. He's not like, he's not going to remain in prison, I don't think. I mean, we'll see where it goes, but like, just a real shame. I think to myself, on the one hand, a pedophile friend of mine had to get a little bit of interrogation today. And on the other hand, another shame. South Korea, folks. South Korea coming after, they're calling him an insurrectionist. They're calling him an insurrectionist. They gave him life in prison. A real shame, folks. President Yoon, the real president of my soul, of my life, former South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol, sentenced to life imprisonment with labor for leading an insurrection over his failed martial law declaration. I will be demanding his release.
Really interesting because nobody used to speak about Epstein when he was alive, but now they speak. But I'm the one that can talk about it because I've been totally exonerated. I did nothing. In fact, the opposite. He was against me. He was fighting me in the election, which I just found out through the last 3 million pages of documents. Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
You said today on Iran, bad things will happen.
In the last year alone, the UK arrested his prince. Korea sentences former president to life in prison. Brazil sentences former president to 27 years. France sentences former presidents to 5 years. Peru arrested and jailed its former president. The Philippines arrested its former president. In the U.S., our system completely failed. An unlimited pardon power and Supreme Court's new absurd invented concept of presidential immunity will only further protect presidential crimes. I think the most unlikely bedfellow in this entire process has been the libertarians, who are real libertarians, by the way, and not the fucking only invested in lowering the age of consent libertarians who love Trump and love the fucking border wall and shit. But the Cato Institute guys, I lean on so much more than I ever thought I would, even though they have fantastical narratives that they go along with where they say we should just destroy the federal government or whatever. I cannot believe how much I lean into Cato Institute think tank guys and Reason Magazine think tank guys as well. It's at least there are some people out there who fucking recognize how insane this system is. It's kind of crazy. And yeah, I don't think the Philippines arrested their president, but whatever, it doesn't matter. The rest of the point still stands. Yeah, Matt Petty writes for Reason, and I think he's one of the best out there who has a different approach to this stuff, but at least he covers the madness. He speaks to my confusion where when I sit here and watch what the fuck's going on. It was the ICC. Anyway, it would be amazing if we dedicate some time digging into the degradation of women and girls critical to the maintenance of these systems. People with all powers and money in the world and their preferred pastime is raping and abusing us. We need to spend time talking about the patriarchy and the permission structure, the degradation and devaluation of women and girls. I'm tired of focusing only on the men. I mean, I'm going to keep focusing on the men that are doing the raping. You're not wrong, but I think we shouldn't stop focusing on the men who are doing the raping. You know? We should definitely keep talking about the men who are the rapists. Especially as long as they remain free. You know? They fucking remain free. It blows my mind. I mean, it's expected. I understand. But when I see the theories that I envision, the theories, the analysis that I contribute to on a daily basis unfold in very real material ways in front of our eyes, it is still a shock to me. Someone who recognizes why the American government does certain things, right? For years and years, I've talked about imperialism and how America engages in raw material extraction at the behest of international capital. And it's still a shock to someone like myself when I hear Donald Trump say it out loud. Does that make sense? And it's doubly confusing when I see a pliant media class and an even more serf-like working class approach the subject matter and still finds ways to justify it, to normalize it, that turn around and go, yeah, well, it's good actually that we're fucking invading Venezuela and deposing and kidnapping the president of Venezuela so we can, secure all of the oil barrels for ExxonMobil. It's like, so you're fine with it. Like, this doesn't even benefit you at all, but you're fine with it regardless because, like, someone's got to get dominated. Is that what it is? Like, what the fuck is the mental gymnastics here? They are saying out loud that they are a pedophilic cabal that's ruling over you. And for years and years, I've heard you engage in conspiracy theories about the international pedophilic cabal. And now that they're saying it out loud, you're like, actually, it was good? Like, actually, it was good? All they needed to do was tell you what they're doing? Tell you what they're up to? How the hell do you look at all of this and go, yeah, it's something... How the hell do you look at all of this and not go, something's got to fucking change? What the hell? All right, let's get into it. So there's a bunch of different stuff that came out about Les Wexner's deposition from the House Oversight Democrats, and it's fucking nuts. It's like 4 hours of people asking him questions.
We'll go on the record.
Les Wexner is the owner of L Brands. For those of you who don't know, he's like the principal financial backer of Jeffrey Epstein. And I mean, it's 5 hours, right? So we're not going to watch the entire thing, but I'm sure there's people already like clipping different important parts of it right now, and we'll parse through that. I've been a YouTube watcher since 2022, and now I try to catch the streams. You pulled me out of the nasty Rogan manosphere when you ripped Andrew Tate a new one. Thank you for making us young people feel less alone in our anger against those systems and pointing us in the right direction. Hell yeah. There are parts of this deposition that are off the record. And apparently at the 2 hour and 9 minute mark, they go off the record when Les Wexner has asked a question about Jeffrey Epstein's relationship with Donald Trump. How interesting. What is it? 2 hours and 9 minutes. Let's see.
This is...
You know now we can do something about it.
Oh, yeah.
So Wexner claims, you claim that you cut ties with Epstein in 2007, right? Okay. But you emailed Epstein, quote, Abigail told me the response, all I can say is I feel sorry. You violated your own #1 rule. Always be careful, end of quote. That was an email in 2008, Mr. Wexner. I know, I'm letting you know that the public knows.
Probably. I was giving him the finger.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Mr. Wexner, just real briefly, did the FBI or Department of Justice ever directly speak to you about Epstein or Maxwell? Has the FBI or DOJ ever directly contacted you or spoken to you about Epstein?
Not to my knowledge.
Never.
Never.
And then finally, would you consider Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein friends or friendly? Would you classify them that way in the information that you have?
I think it's really two questions. Would I think they were friends? No. Jeffrey Epstein held him out as a friend.
Great, thank you. We can go off the record.
Are you... Hello? What are you... Oh, I'm sorry, what? That's not suspicious. What the fuck? Pardon, Maxing. Oh my God, that's weird. I love the transparency, man. I think it's extra crazy to have that conversation off the record. Like that is the conversation that is in the public's interest, right? Yeah, there's also this that came out yesterday. It was just going fucking omega viral. A clip of Representative Ted Lieu is going viral where he confirms there are serious allegations of Donald Trump raping children and threatening to murder them as well. He says this.
Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations of Donald.
So I think this is a little sneaky because some of those allegations are not credible, right? This is not me defending Donald Trump. Some of those allegations are very credible and some are not. He's kind of mixing up both a little bit. And technically he can say this without being hit with a defamation suit because of the fact that they do very much exist in the Epstein files as allegations.
Donald Trump raping children, of Donald Trump threatening to kill children. So I encourage your press to go look at these allegations. And I'm highly disturbed that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche just got the law wrong. Yesterday, he said, essentially, that it is not a crime to party with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, that's actually not correct. If Jeffrey Epstein was human trafficking minors for these sex parties, and you show up and patronize the establishment?
He is 100% right about this, though. Like, this was right after Todd Blanche came out and was like, it's not a crime to party with Jeffrey Epstein. It literally, wrong, it is, okay? It actually fucking is. It is absolutely a crime. What the fuck do you mean? Like, if you are party to a bank robbery, you can't just turn around and say, Your Honor, it's not a fucking crime to go on a joyride with the bros. No, it is a fucking crime. What do you mean? You're accessory to a crime. You're a co-conspirator. It's literally the opposite. You can't oversimplify this thing. Oh, I didn't realize. Like, when you're conspiring to do a murder, for example, you can't just go, Your Honor, I was simply using words with a friend who later turned out to be a federal agent that I hired to do a hit on a loved one. No, you were conspiring to do a murder, okay? I love when Republicans especially utilize this oversimplified language to make things make sense to their dumbass fucking audience, but it doesn't work that way. You can absolutely do crimes with your voice. You can absolutely conspire to do crimes. You can absolutely be accessories to crimes, heinous crimes such as international sex trafficking of minors, for example. That's a crime.
At that party, yes, you're guilty because patronizing is part of the law, the federal sex trafficking laws. Donald Trump.
Just reading the J-mails and doing a minuscule amount of research is obvious there are so many named and known co-conspirators free out there. Yes. Yes. Hundreds of them. Hundreds of them. What, dude, how much longer until they start saying this is cancel culture? How much longer until people are like, bro, you were fucking partying with Jeffrey Epstein and you got mentioned 38,000 times. They're like, oh, this is guilt by association. This is cancel culture, folks. Stop with the cancel culture. Oh, fucked it up. God damn it. If you have a sec on or off stream, oh my fucking God. Chatter, take a day off. Okay? DSA chatters. Stop sending me the DSA article about how difficult it is to organize the 100,000 new fucking DSA members. Okay? Stop it. Stop it. Zoran's mom went to one of those parties. Did she break the law? No. You want to know why? Because it wasn't one of those fucking parties, dumbass. Again, there's a distinction. There's a reason why not every single person that is mentioned in the Jeffrey Epstein files is receiving the same fucking level of scrutiny. Okay? Do you understand? No, you don't. You don't understand. You're just trying to defend daddy. You're just trying to defend Donald Trump. If Zoran's mom was mentioned 38 fucking thousand times in the Epstein files and was known to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein directly, personally, and Jeffrey Epstein was known to frequent Zoran's mom's golf club, for example, yes, then she would be worthy of scrutiny. She would be worthy of more than scrutiny. She would have to receive prosecution, okay? If Zoran's mom lived next to Jeffrey Epstein, Zoran's mom sent emails to Jeffrey Epstein directly saying, oh, I want to come to your fucking island. I have kids with me. Here are their ages. Some of them are 12. Some of them are 14. I heard you like them young. If she did that, then yeah, it would be valid to fucking investigate that further. Just trying to clarify versus the blanket statement that going to his parties was breaking the law. No, you're trying to debate Lord at the behest of your favorite fucking international sex criminal, okay? That's what you're trying to do. We know what you're trying to do, dumbass. Don't act like I'm offering a blanket fucking statement. It's very clear what the law dictates. If you are accessory to a crime, if you are actually participating in any kind of illegal activity, I vote for progressives, okay? I don't give a fuck who you vote for. Shut up. Oh my God, people are such bitches. I'm just curious, bro, you're making me actually not want to vote for progressives anymore. I just wanted to do a little debate lording about like what the boundaries are of international sex trafficking. I don't care who you fucking voted for, chatter. Shut the fuck up. What do you think? That's a fucking shield all of a sudden? Oh shit, this guy votes for progressives. I guess it's all right then. I guess it's all right that you're just like engaging in bad faith defenses of the pedophilic cabal by bringing up shit that is utterly irrelevant. Come on, man. Yeah. Zoran's mom didn't actually participate in like a Jeffrey Epstein party. Jeffrey Epstein attended a party that was thrown for Zoran's mom for the release of her new movie. Where are all the Diddy memes for people on the Epstein list? Yeah, that is actually kind of crazy. I feel like the Diddy stuff, I mean, it's not like a psyop or anything, but it's crazy that like the Diddy stuff kind of made all this stuff memeable and people don't take it as seriously anymore, it feels like. Calm down, Hasan. You love making enemies, chatters. No, that person is already an enemy. He came in all bad faith. Come on, dude. Like, not every... I think you guys are confusing something here. Not every single person that comes in and is like, oh, I'm a long-term community advocate, like, and here is the most bad faith pro-pedophilic cabal argument that anyone has ever fucking heard. That doesn't automatically mean that they're actually a fucking member of the community. You remember, all you need to do is follow for 60 minutes. And you can even bypass that if you subscribe for $6 or for free. The Piker Broadcasting Service is sponsored by you, the people, for you, the people. Piker Broadcasting Service for tomorrow's news today. That's right. Your voluntary contributions are the only way that you can support the show. Your voluntary contributions in the form of a $6 a month subscription or a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime allow me to maintain my editorial independence. Anyway. Throwing bagels at the wall. Thank you for the 20 gifted. Mike Moon, 22. Thank you for the 10 gifted. You know what's really funny? A lot of people that were like haters of the soundboard are now demanding it. I feel like there were people that first came in and were like, the soundboard is actually diluting the seriousness of this fucking stream. Like the show is supposed to be like serious political commentary. Some people were like, oh, well, at least he has some joy in his life and we should let him have that joy in his life, right? But now people got so used to it. They're like, where's the fuzz at? Like they're demanding it. Jen Lime, thank you for the 25 gifted. Ham and Fist, thank you for the 20 gifted. See? As soon as I do the soundboard, people also pepper gift as subs, which make me feel like you want more of it, okay? You want more of it. You want this.
May Allah awaken the people and help them to see the evil doings of Israel and the United States.
Funny at first and annoying that I warmed up to it again. Suspension bridge effect is real. Hawks Flock, thank you for the 5 gifted. And Posichronic, thank you for the 5 gifted. And BMO Flow, thank you for the 5 gifted. Brother, you have fun with the soundbar, go for it, but we're not demanding it. I don't know. Kind of feels like a lot of the gifters are demanding it. I like how you're just making shit up, but to be fair, I do the same thing. What do you mean, making shit up? What do you mean, making shit up? Hello? Anyway,
but
let's see what fucking weirdo nonsense Trump said today at the Board of Peace before we move on to the bulk of the Epstein files.
But I was very proud of it. President Pena of Paraguay is here. President, thank you very much. Young, handsome guy. It's always nice to be young and handsome. Doesn't mean we have to like you. I don't like young, handsome men. Women, I like. Bruh. Men, no, I don't have any interest. Bruh. Good. That's right. That's right. Thank you very much.
That's awesome. That's fucking awesome. Incredible work, man. You are a legend. This is the fucking unit that defends this dumbass will then turn around and be like, AOC is babbling. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's out of his dang mind, dude. He's Brandonizing at a fucking alarming rate, by the way. This is the Brandonian revitalization. Thank you. This is the Brandonian resurgence, for the record. Because he did this shit. And you know what he did after doing this shit? He fucking fell asleep, bro. He literally just passed the fuck out. He literally got up on stage. He was like, I love hot people, whatever. It would be so nice. And then he just fucking passed out.
Implementation of the second phase of the Gaza.
What are we doing? Motherfucker was honk shoe me. No. And no, I'm good. And you know the entire conservative commentary, it's going to be like, well, our big, beautiful president is too tired doing big, beautiful business deals, which are not business deals at all, but actually deals for peace, more like peaceness deals. And you guys simply lack the intellectual honesty to address it as such. Yeah, peace is not easy work. It's hard work. That's why he's fucking, he's fallen asleep. That's why I call this Board of Peace. Not bored like B-O-A-R-D, but B-O-R-E-D. He's honkshu mimi maxing and you know, he's sleep mogging all the third world cells that are a part of the Board of Peace.
Peace plan. This includes ensuring a lasting ceasefire and the successful implementation.
Yeah, Donald Trump's cortisol levels spiked so hard he had to fucking balance it out by falling asleep. It's actually a real alpha dog. It's actually a real alpha dog move from him, okay? You don't understand. You don't have the fucking capability. You're not a real mogger. Zoidbarf. Thank you for the 50 gifted.
Look at
breaking an extraordinary and illegal move. Trump says he's transferring. Oh, this is the other side. Trump says he's transferring $10 billion from the U.S. government to his Board of Peace, which he chairs, and uses the funds as he wishes.
And I want to let you know that the United States is going to make a contribution of $10 billion to the Board of Peace. Thank you. And we've had great support for that number. And that number is a very small number when you look at that compared to the cost of war. That's 2 weeks of fighting. It's a very small number. It sounds like a lot, but it's a very small number. So we're committed to $10 billion. And I want to let you know that the United States is going to make a contribution of
This is surely helping out the American heartland, you know? There's always more money in the unlimited war funds for even Donald Trump's personal coffers, you know? Fantastic.
that were at the event in Munich. They didn't graduate quickly from college. They had everything they could do. There was one young, attractive woman. She was unable to answer questions. And she didn't do so well like JD did in college. JD graduated in a 4.5-year college in 2 years. The people that were...
Oh, that's gross. That's gross. That's gross. No, that's not. No. We got to stop that. No shot. We can't be doing that. That's disgusting. That's fucking... Nope. Some more absurd glazing of Trump from other board members. Oh, yeah. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif to Trump.
You have truly proved to be a man of peace. And let me say, Mr. President, you are truly savior of South Asia.
Of Gaza.
At the UN General Assembly, Trump gets laughed at for asserting bizarre, untrue things. Here at the Board of Peace, he gets to be told he's the world's only hope. Here is fucking Tony Blair.
This is a vision of Gaza as part of a Middle East at peace. Not a phony piece of declarations no one means and agreements no one intends to keep, but a genuine commitment to a region where whether you're a Muslim, Jew, Christian, of any faith or none, you can rise by your own efforts and feel your government by your side, not on your back. That is the vision behind President Trump's 20-point plan for Gaza, and it remains the best, indeed the only hope for Gaza, the region, and the wider world. This is a vision of Gaza as part of a Middle East at peace. Not a phony piece of declarations no one means.
The reason why he's so happy is because he's back to doing what he does best, which is sucking American cock and being a vizier for American empire. JD Vance had a joke as well about AOC that didn't land at all. Let's take a look.
Thank you, Mr. President, very much for your leadership, but also for the kind words about me personally. I knew exactly what I wanted to say, but then after the president said that I was so smart and that I didn't want to repeat our congresswoman who froze for 20 seconds over in Munich, now I'm tempted, sir, just to freeze for 20 seconds and just stare at the cameras, and maybe they'll say nice things about me like they do about Congresswoman Cortez. But I have...
No.
Every time this motherfucker goes on television and says some shit, I totally understand why his mom substituted him for some fucking perk 30s, dude. Straight up. He's just so Rizzless. If you gave life to this fucking thing, wouldn't you also want to self-medicate? Honestly. It's more confusing to me that she still doesn't try to sell him for some crack cocaine. He is so Rizless. Yeah, it's so funny that he tries to make a joke about AOC gets no laughs, which is a reminder that AOC and Newsom and the rest of the top tier Dems could make mincemeat out of this guy in 2028. He has the charisma of a broken wooden chair and the humor of Elon Musk. No one has the humor of Elon Musk.
Legalize comedy.
I hate these motherfuckers so much. I hate them because they're fascists, but I also low-key hate them because they're so Rizless. Like, so they're so fucking pathetic, dude.
Morning in connection with accusations that he shared confidential information with Jeffrey Epstein while serving as a British trade envoy. Now, for years, Andrew has been embroiled in scandal for his association with the late sex offender, and he was stripped of his royal titles last year. In a statement, King Charles said he supported the investigation of his brother, adding, quote, "The law must take its course." Let's cross right to our correspondent in London, Benedict Pavio. Benedict, let's start with this breaking news, word that Andrew has been released. What can you tell us?
Yes, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor arrested this morning around local time 8 a.m. In his new residence, a private residence of the King on the Sandringham estate, has now been released. He's left police custody following this arrest this morning on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The former prince was photographed reclining in the back of a black Range Rover which came to collect him, leaving Aylsham police station, and that was soon after we spoke, so soon after 1900 GMT. Thames Valley Police have issued a statement. They provide this update following this arrest this morning and now release. The force says Thames Valley Police is able to provide this update in relation to an investigation into the offence of misconduct in public office. On Thursday, we arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk on suspicion of this misconduct in public office. And here's the interesting sentence. The arrested man has now been released under investigation. We can also confirm that our searches in Norfolk have now concluded. That means that the current home search is over, but we can also, it's understood that police searches in Berkshire are still underway. Now, that is the former home on a royal estate, and that is near Windsor. And of course, we know that Andrew lived there for over 20 years and he was rushed out at night.
It's kind of wild to me that they just sat on this for decades. So, like, obviously he had ample time to, like, delete whatever evidence he has, right? But also, on the other hand, I think these guys are so profoundly stupid and so untouchable. Like, their perception is that they're so powerful that, like, no one can actually offer any scrutiny to them, that it makes me feel like he might not have actually done his due diligence anyway. Like, given all of the opportunity to delete his fucking hard drives and shit, I could totally see him not doing that at all, because he's like, what do you mean? I'm a prince. I don't feel the need to do any such thing. So who knows? What I'm wondering is how the powerful forces that have played a role in setting up this, like, blackmail pedophilia operation are going to try to move the conversation away, like the public attention away from them to, I don't know, the sacrificial lambs, making it seem like they were independent operators. Just like they tried to make Jeffrey Epstein be a guy with a fucking voracious appetite, avarice for pedophilia. And he was just like a standalone pedophile, and he didn't actually traffic it for anybody else, like just for himself. And it was like, everyone was like, that's not true. The fuck are you talking about? Nobody really believed that. Well, nobody but ContraPoints and Ezra Klein.
Under cover of darkness, very much instructed to by the king, his older brother. And I think that was very much to try and get away from the attention of the media. Because what has been happening is that this scandal of the Epstein files, this release of the last tranche, particularly of emails by the DOJ, the American Department of Justice, has been completely overshadowing the work done day in, day out by the king, by the queen, by the heir to the throne, Prince William, by his wife, Catherine, and others. So Thames Valley Police have told us this evening in this statement they will not be making any further statements at this time. So he's left under investigation, presumably wanting to go back to his current home on that Sandringham estate after a bruising, I would imagine, 11 hours. Police cell, probably had his DNA taken, probably had his mugshot taken, a photo, and may have been fingerprinted like any other person who would be arrested in those circumstances. He is not above the law, as indeed Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, had mentioned earlier today.
I'm not sure you can answer this, Benedict, but what should we read into this? The fact that he's been released and the possibility that he could still face charges in this case?
Oh, he could very much still face charges. It's interesting. I mean, we had no word, and the king apparently wasn't told in advance. We've learnt a short while ago that the Home Office, so what is the Ministry of the Interior, was told by Thames Valley Police before that they were going to be arresting the former Prince Andrew. But it is not clear at the moment if he is going to be charged, if indeed there is a particular line of question that he's been put under. We simply don't know that. We don't have those facts. He may have been told that he must not leave the country. So although we have the start of this very public arrest today and this release under investigation, this could take weeks, it could take months. And it is important to underline that this arrest has to do with his role from 2001 to 2010 as UK trade envoy, representing the UK government, the United Kingdom across the world on these various business missions. And the allegation, as seen in leaked emails and that last tranche a few weeks ago by the DOJ in America, of him, then Prince Andrew, forwarding very confidential, highly sensitive market information, financial information, analysis by the British team, the British delegation and the British government about financial interests, financial possible future investments, whether it's in Singapore, in Afghanistan, and other countries. And this is a complete breach of trust, since being UK trade envoy, you are held in a very high position, and therefore you have very confidential government documents that are forwarded to you. They are not meant to be forwarded to anybody else outside government, and the allegation is that he sent those to the convicted sexual, now dead, paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. So for the moment, this arrest is not directly linked at all to the multiple allegations that he, then Prince Andrew, had any encounters, sexual or other, with Virginia Giuffre, his main accuser, or indeed any other trafficked girls by the same Jeffrey Epstein.
So this ain't even about the sex crimes anyway. This is just about leaking state secrets. I guess whichever way justice is served is good. I don't know. I mean, what gives me a little bit of hope is if they consider this to be high treason, which I doubt that I don't know if they will, but that would put Mendelssohn's ass directly on the frying pan. You understand? Do you know how fucking good that would be? Because everything that they're investigating with Prince Andrew is tenfold. It makes Mendelssohn more compromised, tenfold more compromised. Would Andrew snitch to save his life? They'd fucking kill him, I think. That's crazy. I mean, just like they fried Al Capone off of tax evasion, it kind of feels like they're doing this. Wouldn't that make the labor look good? Yeah, because once Mendelsohn is prosecuted, that will put the attention onto Keir Starmer, and then Starmer will have to resign. Starmer's resignation at this moment would be like Justin Trudeau. Like, I don't know where they go from here. And I hate that your party could not actually build momentum and just like fell apart shortly after they were organized. Because right now would have been their moment. Because what took place with Justin Trudeau, where Justin Trudeau resigned and then Mark Carney came in and was seen as like a much more reliable figure that people didn't punish for associations with Justin Trudeau at a time when people are like desperate for, reasonable governance, especially in places like European countries or, a place like Canada. I think it would have been a tremendous opportunity for Corbyn to basically do the revenge tour. Having said that, however, obviously I like the Greens. I'm not discounting them. Calm down. What do you mean? I literally collab with the fucking leaders. What are you talking about? The party's run by a HasanAbi head. Hello? He's the man.
Very embarrassing, very grave. We have no idea where this is leading.
You endorsed Jill Stein for crying out loud? No, I didn't. I did not do that, chatter. I have no problem like working with third-party movements and shit, but don't make up nonsense. What are you, one of those fucking liberals that lies about my shit? I did not endorse Jill Stein. And I'm not saying that because I'm like scared of like what the liberals keep saying. I just, I care about the truth.
And this is totally unprecedented and embarrassing, uncomfortable for the monarchy and indeed for the country.
Really a surreal day. Our correspondent in London, Benedict Pavio. Benedict, thank you for bringing us that breaking news.
Now let's bring in our Patrick Reeville just outside Buckingham Palace. So, Patrick, we're being told that Andrew has been released, but is under investigation and not charged. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, Kira, as you say, just in the past half hour or so, Andrew has been seen leaving the police station. He was captured on camera by reporters there. As you say, the police saying that he's being released and remains under investigation. At the moment, it does not yet appear that charges have been brought against him. We had heard from prosecutors saying they had not yet advised the police on whether a case could be brought against him. Usually in the UK, police do the investigating and then prosecutors assess the evidence and decide whether enough can be brought, whether the evidence is sufficient to bring a trial. But obviously, we still know very little about what these allegations are. We understand that it is related to these emails in the Epstein files where it appears that Andrew was basically passing sensitive information to Jeffrey Epstein about his travels as a trade envoy. And as a trade envoy, he would have been, in theory, bound by some rules of confidentiality under British government policy and law. But as you say, for now, we don't yet know too much more about that. But clearly an absolutely extraordinary day here in the UK, one that is unprecedented for the royal family. No royal has been arrested in modern history, and so a very difficult day for the royal family and for the monarchy.
Yeah, 400 years since that happened last time. So what comes next for the former prince?
I mean, that's a great question. You know, obviously we've seen him now leave the police station, and frankly, nobody knows, will now this lead to him having charges brought against him? Will he...
What do you think? You think I'm fasting? Does it seem like I'm fasting? Oh my God, I forgot. Is that the answer you think is going to happen here? Oh no, the food just fell in my mouth. It was just in front of me, packaged, ready to be consumed, and I forgot that I'm supposed to be fasting. Is that what you think? That what's going to happen here? You're on Mecca time? Yeah.
Go on trial? If he goes to trial, would it be successful if he was convicted? You know, he's currently being arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office, and so
Yeah.
you know,
Was it
there's a
Allah
very
that has fed
broad
me?
range of penalties for that. It can be up to life imprisonment, but of course it can also be much less severe than that. I think if it was related to leaking information as a trade envoy, it's probably likely to be less severe. But equally, we don't know if the police could have perhaps found something else while they were investigating it. It's possible that these emails and the enormous pressure around Andrew that has come out because of the Epstein files in the US, because of that enormous pressure, the police have been pushed into looking into this more, and it's possible that they've discovered something else, perhaps even more serious. We do not know, but for the time being, of course, Andrew has always vehemently denied any wrongdoing. At the moment, he is under investigation, so huge numbers of questions and an extraordinary development, and this story very, very far from over, Kira.
Patrick Reevell will stay on the story. Thank you.
It was the latest release of the Epstein files, 3.5 million of them, that piled the pressure onto Andrew. Now he has been arrested. And they contain embarrassing documents, photos like this of him on all fours at an undisclosed location. But the police investigation doesn't appear to be about his interactions with Virginia Giuffre or any potential allegations of sexual abuse, allegations Andrew has always strongly denied. Instead, it's his time as a trade envoy, an official position that is under scrutiny. The timeline here is really important, so let's start with that.
It's so funny that the British government's like, the international pedophilia is fine, but it's a bridge too far to reveal trade secrets, okay? I can excuse the international sex trafficking of minors, but if you fuck up the bag, if you touch the bag, we're gonna come after you. But like I said, the positive here is that this is directly relevant to a much broader investigation that will take out a lot more figures in British politics.
It was back in September 2001 that Andrew was appointed trade envoy. In June 2008, his friend Jeffrey Epstein was convicted in Florida for procuring child prostitution. Just over a year later, Epstein was released from prison. In December 2010, Andrew visited Jeffrey Epstein in New York. In 2019, he said that this is when he broke off contact with him. In February 2011, Andrew continues to email Epstein, and we'll come back to this. In July 2011, Andrew was forced to quit his trade envoy role. April 2015, and allegations against Andrew emerge in court documents regarding Virginia Giuffre. And in February this year, police started assessing claims over his links with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the latest files appear to show correspondence between Epstein and Andrew when the latter was trade envoy on non-personal business. So let's start with this email. It's from November 2010. And what it is an aide forwarding to the Duke of York attached reports for Vietnam, Singapore, Hong Kong and Shenzhen in relation to your recent visit to Southeast Asia. That was as trade envoy. 5 minutes later, the Duke, as he was known back then, forwards that on to Jeffrey Epstein. There's another one too. This is about Afghanistan. It's also 2010. It's sent in December, and it's from Andrew directly to Jeffrey Epstein himself. And he says, attached is a confidential brief produced by the Provincial Reconstruction Team in Helmand Province. That's in Afghanistan. He sends that directly to Epstein and says, I'm going to offer this elsewhere in my network, including Abu Dhabi, but would be very interested in your comments. And then there's this email from Andrew again to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the important thing here is the date, February the 9th, 2011. That is after when Andrew had originally said he ended his relationship with Epstein, but it's also when he's still a trade envoy, that official position. The contents of these emails are just fragments of events, and we don't know the specifics of the allegations being investigated. Again, this all appears to have taken place while Andrew was...
Yeah, what could have taken place? I wonder. MI6 is logging in. Bro, it is literally full-blown. Like, the theory now is, was he a Mossad guy and a CIA guy? Or was he something above Mossad and definitely still work with the Israeli state, but like at what capacity? Right? That's the only question that is taking place. Like, there's no one who is even remotely sincere about making accurate assessments about Jeffrey Epstein's entanglements with espionage agencies is saying that this is not related to Israel or America and it's like Russia or whatever. Like, liberal media will say, oh, he's Russia. But who was he serving? Or were the agencies serving him?
Trade envoy, an official position. He has denied all wrongdoing. And
Les Wexner's attorney?
It was just regularly done.
Les Wexner's attorney did not like this man's answers to the questions during the House Oversight Committee deposition. He told Wexner, I'll fucking kill you if you answer another question with more than 5 words. Okay, wait, what?
Answer the question. Okay. It was just.
Is this? What? Is this AI? Is it a fake video? Am I getting duped? Is it a fake video? What the fuck was that? Do we know what time code it's around so we can watch the rest of it?
Prince Andrew
we need to, I want to watch the rest of it. Like, if you can find me the timestamp. I think it's a joke. Like, you're making my job hard. Stop. Yeah, it's from the original video. I mean, it looks exactly like the original video, but I'm trying to figure out if it's like somehow manipulated or we need chat. Is this real? It's probably a joke, but I want to see the context before and after it.
Just regularly done.
Answer another question. 5 words, okay?
Answer the question. Okay.
I mean, he just straight up says, I'll fucking kill you. He whispers, I'll fucking kill you if you answer another question with more than 5 words, okay? That's AI, Unc? No, it's not AI, bro. Notice would not fucking post this. 425.05. Thank you, chatter. Jesus Christ, y'all are... No one else is doing it like this, chatter. It's probably a joke, but I want to see like what came after it or what came before it.
For the complexity.
Those clients, is that
If you were doing it 3 or 4 days a month, certainly a week or a day a month, just focusing on these things because there were accountants and tax lawyers and other people. And then once in setting up, as an example, I didn't have the idea to inventory furniture or valuables. And it's like, how could you have all silverware in your house and what? And I didn't count forks and spoons. And it's like, Jeff said, people could be walking out with forks and spoons. I said, gee, that's a good idea. We ought to have an inventory. But then there was I hired a lady to be like the house manager.
For being the L brand guy, pedo fucks got no drip. Yeah. 42508, it's coming.
Who had run the U.S. Embassy in Rome and said, yeah, I know how to do this. And I said, well, why don't we keep inventories of stuff? And she said, well, yeah, I could do that. So she did that as kind of a puny example, but I wouldn't have had the idea. But then all the things were inventoried. That wasn't work for me or Jeffrey. It was just regularly done.
answer the question?
Okay.
A discrete question on a different topic. We know that at one point you owned a property in Palm Beach. It was a large oceanfront estate. We understand that you sold that estate to a guy named Abe Gossman, and that later Mr. Trump and Mr. Epstein got into a bidding war over that property. Do you have any knowledge of, or did you have any involvement in that dispute between Mr. Epstein and Mr. Trump?
No.
Look, he looks back at his lawyer and goes, see, I did it. Yeah, I don't think it's a real threat. I think he's just literally saying, like, you're fucking it up. You're making it hard for us. Like, you're making it hard on yourself, and therefore for me to defend you. This is a fucking deposition. Stop yapping. I don't know how, like, high-powered attorneys work. So I don't know if, like, high-powered attorneys will tell their multi-billionaire pedophilic clients to shut the fuck up or I'm going to kill you like that. Like, is that normal for, like, attorneys like this? Like, the relationship between an attorney and a client at a high-status situation like this one? Maybe. Because, like, I feel like this guy's probably a fucking partner in a massive law firm. You know what I mean? He's not like some ambulance chaser. He's doing a government deposition. He is defending a multi-billionaire pedophile at a government deposition. So I suspect he's high power enough himself to just like have a different rapport with his client. Better Call Saul clip farming. It's literally just hyperbole. You shouldn't shut the fuck up. You're incriminating yourself the more you speak. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Because, like, when you see the clip without additional context, it leads you to believe that this is like, you know, someone's making the boss call. Like, it's a literal threat, but it's not. I think it's just a joke. Like, I think he's just like being hyperbolic. It's not his handler literally being like, you're going to get fucking assassinated.
I'd like to touch on a few specific allegations that
also chat.
Legalize comedy.
Come on.
Legalize comedy.
Like, don't make me do it, you know?
With respect to Mr. Epstein's crimes. Maria Farmer has been discussed several times today. I'll try not to repeat that too much.
Your elder millennial fans are making HasanAbi soundboard memes on TikTok? This is elder millennial shit. Oh my God. We're so cooked.
much, but there are a few aspects of her story that I did want to touch on with you. Ms. Farmer has said that the home that we've discussed, you said Mr. Kessler sold it to Mr. Epstein, it's adjacent to your property. Ms. Farmer has said that that home at the time was guarded by your security staff.
Wait. Oh my God. Did you question the question? Did you write this letter to Mr. Epstein for his birthday book? The same letter that Donald Trump, a similar letter in the same book that Donald Trump denied writing and doodling on. This was Les Wexner making titties as well underneath it. Retrousse boobs, for the record, for the real ball knowers. Okay.
You yourself write this letter to Mr. Epstein?
Sadly, I did.
Did Miss Maxwell approach you to write this letter for Mr. Epstein's birthday?
I'm gonna be honest, like it's far better drawn than Donald Trump's shitty ass fucking drawing. I'll be honest. Like this actually is a decent handwriting. Like this is from a purely aesthetic standpoint, like this is a stylistic choice and it's actually not bad at all. It has perspective. It's actually a decent fucking drawing. All right, bro. No, it is. What? I mean, come on. All the art students in the chat are 100% going to agree with me. Being able to show depth and perception with such simple lines requires artistic talent. Like he literally, like he has, this is a 3D image with like two lines and a dot. Okay. As a boob drawer myself, like I know game. I game recognize game. It's a pair of shoes. No, it's not. It's retrousse tits. It's funny because like the actual like art chatters are going to agree with me no matter what. Like it's just,
I think the request was to write a card or a note or something for a birthday book.
And did that come from Miss Maxwell?
I don't remember.
Hi.
Mr. Wexner, would you please read the main body of the birthday note for the record, please?
No.
I wanted to get
you came
what
close.
you want. So here it is. Happy birthday, your friend Leslie.
And what was your understanding of what Mr. Epstein would want?
He was a bachelor, so I drew a pair of boobs. As a kind of a joke and offhandedly, I'd say.
Understand.
I hope you do.
You said a few times throughout this deposition today that you did not consider Mr. Epstein a friend of yours. However, you signed this letter, and I quote, "Your friend Leslie." Why would you sign your friend Leslie to someone you did not consider to be a friend of yours?
I don't know.
On meeting Trump with Epstein.
Did you ever spend time with Epstein and Donald Trump?
Together?
Yes.
I want to answer this question accurately. I would go to some of the Victoria's Secret fashion shows because they're very important to the brand. At some of the fashion shows, Jeffrey was there and some Trump was there. And I remembered because Trump would always introduce himself to me. And I always thought it was kind of odd that he was at the fashion show because he had nothing to do with fashion.
Was the Mockler debate in 7 minutes?
Did you
And then we'll get back to the Epstein stuff.
And
Bezos mentioned? Oh shit, that's Boss Man.
He would talk about the founders of Google, that they were friends, and he'd visit them. He would talk about, you got to come out to San Francisco. You should meet the Amazon guy. Bezos. And I said, no, I'm not too busy and I'm interested and I don't do what he does. And I said, but he's really a smart guy. You should meet him. I said, if I'm ever in San Francisco, I'll look him up. I'm too busy. He would.
I swear, Wesner has the opportunity to accidentally cook the entire pedophilia cabal. Let us pray that his dementia does his job. Bro, you have fucking Big Boss Dog in his fucking corner being like, I'm going to assassinate you with a drone strike if you don't shut the fuck up. The whole point is like, he probably has a fucking high power attorney specifically for that purpose. This is normal. Remember, shut the fuck up. Say as little as possible. Okay, not him. Not if you're Les Wexner. If you're Les Wexner, never shut the fuck up. Okay? If you are Les Wexner, say everything. Les Wexner, during his deposition about knowing if Jeffrey Epstein committed illegal acts prior to his 2006 arrest, a woman was suing him for being aggressive. I remember calling him and saying, what the hell is this? And he said I was being shaken down by a hooker, and I believed him. I believed that he wasn't stupid. Yeah, right, dude.
Record, did you have any knowledge of illegal activity by Mr. Epstein prior to his arrest in 2006?
The only I recall is my
Maria Farmer and Brace both said Wexner had hidden shooters with M4s hiding in the wilderness around his compound. Brace said he met some of the contractors on Shruanon. I mean, that's not surprising. He's an immensely wealthy individual. All of those guys absolutely have security contractors with with the appropriate stamps and with the appropriate fucking with the capabilities of using like weapons that normal people are not allowed to have on them. His house on satellite looks like Goatsy.
chief of staff told me, and I don't know, he knew press, whether it was the newspapers or radio or TV, that that Jeffrey had been accused, or a woman was suing him for, I don't know, being aggressive. And I remember calling him and saying, what the hell is this? And he said, I was being shaken down by a hook.
Here's where the patriarchy conversation comes into play. In some instances, because of the patriarchal systems that we exist under, it is very easy for men to turn a blind eye to this kind of defense. And in Les Wexner's case, because he was so deeply connected with Jeffrey Epstein, it's bullshit, but he's now using that established blind side that many men have to his advantage to create a plausible defense. Okay? It's a double bind. Because most of the people in that room are going to be just as misogynistic, even the women, right? That's how patriarchy works. He's saying, oh, I simply did not know. I simply did not know. Oh, it's just someone, some random hooker was like shaking me down. You know how it is. I'm a rich guy. I'm a powerful guy. And you know how it is with powerful men. Women want to come after you. They want to steal your money. And the reality is, right now, he's using that as a defense of his innocence. And unfortunately, plenty of people will believe him.
And I believed him. And I think the follow-up that conversation was, I hope, you're not bullshitting me. Because
that's cap. That's fucking bullshit. Like, you can use this line of defense in a court of law if you're, 15 steps removed from Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? You can't use this line of defense if you're Les Wexner. Okay? A guy who was straight up so deeply involved, and there's allegations that they might have been actually having sex, like Epstein and Les Wexner. That's the other side of the story, which I wonder if they get into in the 5-hour deposition. I believe they do. But straight up, dude, straight up, like when he says, oh, I believed him when he's listed as a fucking co-conspirator, nonsense. Nonsense. Jeffrey Epstein used the Victoria's Secret brand to his advantage. Jeffrey Epstein and Jean-Luc Brunel, who we will be talking about because there's new details about his mysterious death as well, straight up were in line with the L brands and were using L brands as a mechanism of recruitment, as a way to make themselves come across more legitimate. He was directly involved. Oh, they do get into it. Yeah. Did you personally have a sexual relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? Les Wexner? No. Where's the Mogler? In a second. Yeah, 5 hours of Les Wexner's testimony about Epstein. Here's his reaction when he was asked if he fucked Jeffrey Epstein.
Did you personally have a sexual relationship with Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
Is he wearing a leather vest? Yeah, he's a leather daddy. Les Wexner admits in his deposition Epstein worked directly for the Rothschild family in France. Here we go. Oh, brother. I mean, we know this already, but this is going to make the conspiracy guys go even crazier.
First met Epstein. How did he originally present himself to you? What services did he say he was offering?
Well, when I first met him, it was just hello, and he didn't represent anything, and I didn't ask anything. I was just meeting a friend's acquaintance.
As that business relationship became closer and you eventually hired him, I assume he pitched his services in some way. What was his way of framing what he...
This is like, people will say like, how are you not a conspiracy theorist? Because I don't think the Rothschilds are fucking unique, brother. That's what the difference is. I think all billionaires operate on class boundaries. Therefore, I don't make an exceptional case for specific billionaires or Jewish billionaires or any other kind of billionaire. A billionaire is a fucking billionaire. Capital owners are capital owners. It's class warfare and they're fucking aware of it. You're not. Okay? That's the difference. That's the difference. Like even down to like the Illuminati adjacent stuff of them like doing ritualistic sacrifices or whatever the fuck. I see all of that stuff as just being a part, all of that stuff as just like hardening support for one another and creating new units within that same class structure, right? I think like not all billionaires are fucking pedophiles, even though seemingly a lot of them are, okay? But I believe that all billionaires, all class, all members of the ownership class are operating along their class interests. Okay? They do like frat hazing, shit like that, but that's all just to further indoctrinate you into a different part of the same the same ownership class. To like basically create a system of support. People act like Bohemian Grove isn't real. Bohemian Grove is a great example of exactly what I'm talking about. All right, well, we're back, and we're back on the Epstein files.
Has been arrested because of the Epstein files. He got stripped of his title, and now the king is saying, let me state clearly, the law must take its course. I have learned with the deepest concerns the news about Andrew and the suspicion of misconduct in public office. Now, if you're like me, you'd think that misconduct is related to women. and the accusations that have been levied against the prince. But that is not the case. It's actually about the leaking of private information while serving as the UK's special representative for international trade and investment. This is because it was discovered that the Duke would sometimes forward information to Jeffrey Epstein that was obviously sensitive, like this, Helmand high-value commercial properties for foreign investment, or this, a trip report for Vietnam, Singapore, Hong Kong, Shenzhen. Obviously, the former Prince Andrew would have access to insider information or confidential information as part of his role, and forwarding that to a financial trading file is probably not a great idea. This is also deeply concerning because it blows a hole in Prince Andrew's big lies where he said he cut off Jeffrey Epstein in the late 2010s, because this is right about the time that he's engaging him once again in all of his contact. So for him to previously had said, oh yeah, I found out he was a bad guy and I cut him off, I had to travel to visit him to cut him off. Suddenly that doesn't hold water when emails come out where you're sharing possible state secrets with this guy. Here, Andrew, the former Duke, is sending a message to Jeffrey Epstein asking, I am checking, but as this is a US institution, do you know of anyone who might take a look? Talking about a company called Aria Petroleum, which was sent to him, which says the company needs a $200 million working capital line due to significantly increased business from US DOD. So Andrew would have had access to all this deal flow, all these things, and it looks like, at least in some instances, he would actually seek possible investment from Jeffrey Epstein for some of these companies. I want to call back your mind to this interview because it's so important to realize how this guy has lied to our faces for years before we address the bigger elephant in the room.
He was released in July.
Will you ever run an actual poll on the soundboard? Aren't you curious? Yeah, I have. It's called subscribe if you like the soundboard. And every time I say that, people subscribe. Otherwise, I'm taking the soundboard away. Everybody subscribe right now if you love the soundboard for free with a Twitch Prime, or with gifted subs, or with a $6 subscription. The Piker Broadcasting Service is sponsored by you, the people, for you, the people. We've gotten 0 subs. Bruh. That's crazy. Never mind. The subs are rolling in. Oh! Oh, shit. Oh, baby. People love the fucking soundboard. Kind of feels like people like it. Kind of feels like people like it a lot. God damn, ladies and gentlemen, god damn, we're out here.
And pussy too.
We're out here with a soundboard. It's your boy, Hasi baby. What if I did it like that? What if I did it like that going forward?
Liberal.
Yeah, all the ones and twos on the soundboard, Hasi baby.
Fun, la la la, human smuggling, fentanyl deaths.
The subs are rolling in.
Chopping up children's genitals, la 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 la.
Everybody show your love to the soundboard by re-upping your subscriptions, because at the Hasi baby broadcast,
Legalize comedy.
That's right, we legalize comedy.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Yeah, that's right. And most importantly, at the Hasi Baby broadcast,
We are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame. We'll fight for the gospel. We'll honor his name. We are Charlie Kirk.
all right. R.I.P. Big Kirk. Beer, 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 beer. Don't have that one on the soundboard. Have this one, though.
Within months, by December of 2010, you went to stay with him at his New York mansion. Why? Why were you staying with a convicted sex offender?
Right. Now, I went there with the sole purpose of saying to him that because he had been convicted, it was inappropriate for us to be seen together. I felt that doing it over the telephone was the chicken's way of doing it. I had to go and see him and talk to him.
Well, there you have it. Prince Andrew says he had to go see and tell Epstein personally that, oh, we can't be friends anymore because you're convicted. I can't do that for you. And this is late in December 2010 where he says he went to cut off Jeffrey Epstein because he now knew that he's a convicted. But again, if you look at the dates of all of these deals being passed along to Epstein, all these messages being passed along, it's right around the 2010, December 2010, where supposedly he had one thing in mind, and that was cut off for Epstein. Actually, he might have been passing along state secrets. Now, obviously, a formal investigation by the UK police is going to commence, but that's what this arrest appears to be about so far. Misconduct in public office, his responsibilities to the people of the UK at the time, and how these emails could have affected that. But it's this larger context of Andrew lying about his association with Epstein that I want to bring to the front of this next conversation, because obviously Prince Andrew's biggest problem with the Epstein files isn't necessarily the confidential information he shared. It's obviously the allegations made against him, specifically by a woman named Virginia Giuffre, who was captured in an image with Prince Andrew at the time when she was a young lady, and then later she alleged to have been trafficked to Prince Andrew and that they had together. Andrew was asked about this in an interview and famously denied it. Not only denied it, but said it all couldn't have happened because he didn't sweat at the time.
She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have bath, possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a.
Fix your goddamn internet already. Oh my God. Just helping Hasan out while he was away from the soundboard? Okay, dude. Fucking chill.
Peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time. And that was, yes. I didn't sweat at the time. Because
if only CoffeeZilla knows, if only CoffeeZilla knew what she's saying now, this same lady.
I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at. And I simply, it was almost impossible for me to sweat.
Well, there's another monster whopper from the former Prince Andrew, because of course he claims, I couldn't have been there because she describes me as sweating and it's impossible for me to sweat. But of course some photos emerged where Prince Andrew appears to be sweating like a pig. But of course, all of this is the lead up to the bigger denial, right? It's not about whether he sweats or not. It's about his word versus Virginia Giuffre's.
You can say categorically that you don't recall meeting Virginia Roberts, dining with her, dancing with her at Tramp, or going on to have sex with her in a bedroom in a house in Belgravia.
I can absolutely categorically tell you it never happened.
It never happened. And I want to say Virginia Roberts was her maiden name. Giuffre was her later name. That's why they referred to her as Roberts there. But what's so interesting about what the Epstein files have revealed, remember that we were told it's a big nothing burger, nothing's going to come out of this. But nearly all of Prince Andrew's lies in this interview have been discovered now that we have contemporaneous communication, such as this communication between Jeffrey Epstein and a guy named Thomas Landon. Now, Landon formerly worked for the New York Times until 2019. Thomas Landon says here, I think the big issue is separating yourself from Andrew. I mean, in the end, he had consensual sex with Virginia Roberts, and Virginia Roberts worked for you. The rest is atmospherics. Now, this is a huge allegation because Thomas Landon is basically admitting, yeah, of course, Virginia Roberts had sex with Prince Andrew. And of course, she worked for you. So this is a tacit admission back in 2015, way early on, that the substance of the story of them actually having sex is true. But the prince basically says it never happened at all. And so I don't really know how credible that is. He's basically lied through his teeth this entire time about his.
Your reaction to this interview is how I found you. This says, oh fuck, my internet is so busted and dusted. Oh my God, what is happening? I can't even turn on a YouTube link. Are we serious right now?
If there was a party, then I'd know nothing about that.
You were invited to that.
I know it's effing. I know. Chat, there's going to be another fucking technician that comes in today, okay? I know. Have you tried restarting your Wi-Fi? Have you tried restarting your brain, dude? I just like... It's fucked up. Okay, I have a technician coming today as well, every single fucking day.
Ability to sweat, meeting her at all, there's a photo of it, and then of course having sex with her. Internally they're like, yeah, of course that happened. And that's just the Virginia Giuffre part. That's to say nothing of the lies about cutting off Epstein in 2010 when it appears that the exact opposite happened and that he was passing along key information from his role as this trade envoy. I should also mention that this has been a closely examined story for a long time. Andrew Lowney released a book exploring his friendship with Epstein and his relationships, alleging a lot of damaging things related to Andrew's personal life. The book alleges that while staying in Thailand, more than 40 women were brought to his hotel room. Hotel staff were used to foreigners bringing in girls, but amazed that more than 10 a day were going to Andrew's room, Lowney writes. The book also alleges that compromising material on Andrew may have been passed to Israel's Mossad Secret Service. So it isn't as if this is Andrew's first time getting in trouble, but the Epstein files have confirmed.
I will say, as far as independent media goes, I'm happy that there are YouTubers out there, whether it be Moist Critical, whether it be CoffeeZilla, that is like not only keeping the story alive, but also covering it from the Israel angle as well. Because let's be real, this is an often avoided angle of coverage in mainstream news. It's you know, apparently I can't even fucking cover it here at the HasanAbi broadcast because I keep effing every single time. Every single time I see the Israel angle was the one I expected, and then I get destroyed. Shut up, chat. Deal with the Fs. It's just like, hopefully it's gonna go away, you know? Hopefully.
A lot of what has been whispered about or suspected for a long time about his improper handling of his relationship with Epstein, of his position in the 2010s. We also discovered in the files the DOJ actually approached Prince Andrew about information regarding someone named Peter Nygaard, who was, quote, believed to have trafficked minor and adult victims. According to the UK Telegraph, the Duke is understood to have stayed at Mr. Nygaard's mansion with his ex-wife in June 2000. Later, that same guy was convicted on assaults of 4 women, ranging in age from 16 to 28 at the time of offenses. So Andrew has been embroiled in controversy for a while. This may just be the first thing that he's actually stuck with, is this charge of inappropriate leaking of confidential information. I don't know. I am pleased, I guess, on the one hand, to see that something has come from all of this. But sadly, it's just kind of this, I don't want to say lesser charge, but it really does feel like with everything that has been alleged against Prince Andrew, this is probably the lowest thing he could be in trouble for. But then again, on the bright side, based on photos that came from Reuters after Prince Andrew's arrest, it does look like he's learning to sweat again.
Billionaire Les Wexner telling the House Oversight Committee he was naive, foolish, and gullible to put any trust in Jeffrey Epstein.
Is it a Twitch issue? I've seen other streamers with the same problem. It's not a Twitch issue. It's not. I promise you it's not. It's on my end. It is directly an ISP related problem. Brother, we've troubleshot everything, okay? I'm telling you, I know what it is. There are numerous points of failure on my end, and we've gone through the process over and over again. Okay, no, Les Wexner is not dead. Did you mute the word fiber? Probably, because a lot of dumb fucks are, consistently bringing it up. Like, get fiber, get fiber, get fiber. Change your ISP. Bro, why didn't I think of that, dude? Why didn't I think of that? Change your ISP. Dog, you're so fucking sick. Oh my God. If I have a firstborn and she's a daughter, I hope in 18 years she marries you, because you're the most brilliant guy I've ever encountered in my whole damn life. Bro, free market, bro? Change your ISP, bro? Are you calling in from the country of Estonia? Do you think that there is a situation here where this is not a fucking oligopoly, where the ISPs have directly dominated each individual market street by street, where they've decided that there's only one singular ISP that can offer service to one singular neighborhood? Motherfucker, you think shit's sweet? What do you think? You think this is Hezbollah-controlled territory in southern Lebanon? We don't got no fucking fiber out here, bitch. This is West Hollywood. This is West Hollywood, Los Angeles, California!
Epstein, and while I was conned, I have done nothing wrong and have nothing to hide, according to his planned remarks, and saying he never saw Epstein act inappropriately. The founder of the business empire that included Victoria's Secret and Abercrombie & Fitch, Wexner played a vital role in transforming Epstein into a financial advisor with ties to the ultra-wealthy. For 16 years, Epstein even held power of attorney over Wexner's vast personal fortune. In a more than 6-hour behind-closed-doors deposition from his sprawling Ohio compound, Wexner admitting he did once travel to Epstein's private island, but maintaining to lawmakers that he never spoke with Epstein again after 2007 amid learning of Epstein's first criminal investigation for sex crimes and after discovering Epstein stole vast sums of money from Wexner. In the more than 3 million pages of the Justice Department's Epstein files, Wexner's name appears hundreds of times, including initially listed as a possible co-conspirator. Though the DOJ later determined there was limited evidence regarding his involvement. A legal representative for Wexner previously told ABC News federal prosecutors informed his lawyers in 2019 that Mr. Wexner was neither a co-conspirator nor target in any respect. Committee Democrats accusing Wexner of trying to downplay his once close relationship with Epstein.
The more this deposition goes on, the less Wexner knows about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
And saying the billionaire told the committee he has never been questioned by the FBI.
There is no single person that was more involved in providing Jeffrey Epstein with the financial support to commit his crimes than Les Wexner.
Annie Farmer says her sister was assaulted by Epstein and his now convicted co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell as an adult when the two were visiting Wexner in Ohio in 1996. Also a survivor of Epstein and Maxwell's abuse at 16 years old, Annie tells me she doesn't believe Wexner's denials.
Isn't that crazy? Like, you just got like a whole ass rapist, pedophilic billionaire, and he's like, he owns half of the state of Ohio, by the way. And there's like nothing you can do about it. And he is the primary funding vehicle behind the institution that is Jeffrey Epstein. Isn't that wild? Like, just think about that for a second. Is that why Ohio is a meme? Is that the PSYOP? No. I mean, it just happens to have given us some horrible monsters. Jim Jordan, J.D. Vance. Yeah, Ohio catches that stray. Let's be real. The Paul brothers. Likud James, okay, calm down. But yeah, I mean, his output was fine until recently. Ohio clip from the deposition.
Just wanted to start with a question around U.S. Senator John Husted, and it's been reported that you gave him something like $117,000 in donations. Is that correct?
I think you mean John Husted.
John Husted, yeah.
I don't know how much money I gave him.
Would that sound about right? It's a substantial sum.
Well, I'm thinking I met John when he was a state representative. I'm sure I helped him. I helped him politically when he ran for lieutenant governor. I probably contributed to senatorial campaigns, so is it possible over time I would have given him that much money? It is.
Just wanted to start with a question around
It's crazy, man. And you know Ohio's still going to vote. Like, they'll be like, he's not a Democrat. It's fine. What do you mean? He's our pedophile. He's our pedophile, brother. Fuck you mean? Who cares? I mean, they're doing that for Donald Trump. So
Epstein is a con man. Was there some element of con that perhaps also related to, Wexner?
Oh, shit.
Sure.
You're right, though. We talked about Ohio, but you know what? Pennsylvania gave us Netanyahu. That's right. It's cooked. Go Birds, though.
But I don't think that means that he had no idea what was going on and he was not a participant in some way.
A Wexner spokesperson telling ABC News in response, the billionaire, quote, never even heard of Maria Farmer until her account surfaced in the media, and in a separate statement saying Wexner reiterated to lawmakers he had, quote, no knowledge and did not participate in Epstein's illegal conduct. George.
Okay, Jay, thanks.
Do you regret the links that there have been?
You know, we have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work. I don't recall ever meeting him.
Did you ever meet Ghislaine Maxwell?
I did on a few occasions, and thousands of people go to the Clinton Global Initiative. So,
I mean, what do you say? What do you say? What do you do? Right?
it to me is not something that is really at the heart of what this matter is about. They are accused, and in both cases were convicted of horrific crimes against girls and women. That should be the focus. And we are more than happy to say what we know, which is very limited and totally unrelated to their behavior or their crimes. And we want to do it in public because let's make this transparent. The survivors deserve that. The public deserves that. But, you know, the Republican member of Congress who is running this hearing or this investigation is trying to protect the president. So let's get to what's really at stake here.
Just on this hearing, and obviously I'm sure Donald Trump and his administration would reject your characterization of what's going on, and he's denied any wrongdoing.
How can they reject it? They can't answer questions, and the Attorney General was clearly unwilling to answer questions. She works for him. So let's be very clear here. According to what we now know, Mr. Trump, President Trump, is mentioned, some say, 1 million times in the files. People in his cabinet are mentioned. Do you know that figure's correct? That's what it says, you know, on the internet over and over again. Well, so let's find out what the truth is. That's why we want it to be transparent and in public.
New messages between Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein released in the Epstein files have ignited a civil war in a MAGA world. In one message, Bannon suggests President Trump should be removed from.
Why do you think she's still a bill? She doesn't give a fuck, dude. What do you mean? Keep up appearances? I don't think they're like actually together. I don't think they've been actively together for a long time. They're just together. That's like that's like a known secret too. It's not even like, when's the last time you've seen them together, like physically, other than like some very few campaign events? They have not been. Actually, bro is 26. Bro is 2026. They're poly. Oh my God.
Office during his first term for erratic behavior. The Department of Justice also released a 2-hour video of Bannon interviewing Epstein for a potential documentary. This is Bannon asking about Epstein's time spent in prison in 2008.
You're telling me that during that day, you never had a moment you sat there and go, what the f***? have I done with my life that I'm in a 6x9 jail cell?
You're suggesting I was sort of somewhat depressed, and how could this happen to me?
I'm not saying depressed. I'm saying a moment of awareness of how could I get myself into this situation.
No, I would just say how strange that this happens. Just, it's strange. People would either ask to borrow money or make some other types of comments about. In the beginning.
What were the comments? At the beginning, what were the comments?
It serves you rich guys right that you're here next to me.
There was nothing about your crimes?
No.
So all this rumor you hear all the time about people in prison that commit the type of crimes you commit, that's, you're saying in your personal...
Again, another guy who's just like so closely connected to Trumpism as a movement. And here he is. Here he is just fucking chilling with Jeffrey Epstein. No notes. Remember when he bombed the city and meant as an apology to her? Where did he bomb for? No, I think it was to bomb. I think it was to bomb Yugoslavia. Right? Am I crazy? No.
Thing is not true.
I think, yeah, it was Yugoslavia.
It was all because you were rich.
Yes.
Bannon did not return messages from CNN, but said in a statement to the New York Times that his communication with Epstein was all done to, quote, secure 50 hours of interviews from a reclusive subject. For more on this, I want to bring in David Urban, former Trump campaign advisor and CNN senior political commentator. David, great to see you. You're shaking your head. I want to get to why in just a second. You know, the 25th Amendment reference from the Epstein files has caused some uproar inside the magosphere. It's dated December 31st, 2018, and it's a text exchange between Bannon and Epstein. And we should note the context is unclear, but Bannon says going to blow him up right out of the box. White House has zero plans to punch back. Fort Apache with no cavalry en route. Jeffrey Epstein then says in No Soldiers in the Fort, he is really borderline, not sure he what.
Bro, does mainstream media have like a ping issue? Am I crazy? I had to literally check to see when they're covering this story. I think I covered the story, like 3 weeks ago? Are they, like, what is this delay? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm glad that CNN is finally getting around to this massive deal. But, like, it's not even a Piker Broadcasting Service, like, tomorrow's news today type shit. Like, it's been fucking weeks, man. No, I don't think I'm ahead of the curve, chat. I don't think I'm ahead of the curve at all. This is like, this one freaks me out a little bit where they're just like, they're taking their sweet ass time with this shit. Like, at this pace, we'll get to the Israel stuff with Jeffrey Epstein maybe like in a year or two. And yeah, you know his ass is not gonna, you know their ass ain't posting all roads lead to Beijing or Tel Aviv. Tariff wrestling. She, Kim, judo. You showed this before you went to Qatar. Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of files. Man, there are a lot of files. And guess what? There are a lot of matters of incredible importance. And this is one of them. And this isn't even like a tricky narrative that is going to take a while to, like, you know, massage and figure out what, like, the best possible editorial control would look like. This is just, you could just immediately cover it, right? I know there are a lot of files, but it just doesn't make any sense that they would take this much time to finally fucking sift through and arrive at the Steve Bannon files. I guess, like I said, you know, 2 to 3 years out, 2 to 3 years from now, we'll finally arrive at, maybe Jeffrey Epstein was an asset for the Israeli state. I don't fucking know. Yeah, I covered it on February 4th. Jeffrey Epstein's biggest failure was that he died before he could have just done a right-wing pivot.
But now we have emails of a different side of the...
February 4th.
He may do And then Bannon replies, I think it's beyond borderline 25th Amendment. Now, we reached out to Bannon on this exchange and have not received a response, but people like Roger Stone and Marjorie Taylor Greene are speaking out. So tell me about why you were shaking your head and tell me what you were hearing in.
I will say this. The reason why Roger Stone and like Laura Loomer or whoever the fuck is like speaking out is speaking out because they're all sharks. It's the same like explosive, the catastrophic fucking chaos that took place when Charlie Kirk got assassinated, right? Because these guys are all sharks and the knives are out at all times. They're not like actually mad that, you know, Steve Bannon was like homies with Jeffrey Epstein. They're just using this as an opportunity to gain leverage, to be like, no, you should be me. You should have me as your guy. Why do you have him as your guy? Little do they fucking know, they have him as his guy because Steve, you know who else was Donald Trump's guy? Jeffrey fucking Epstein. That's it. That's the reason why he's there. He's having that conversation.
Inside the president's supporters.
Yeah, so, you know, John, you said also, you know, you left out General Flynn and many, many others. If you go to Twitter and just look at, you know, MAGA influencers or just Google, you know, or put in the Twitter search, you know, Bannon, Epstein, see what comes up. There is not one supporter, not one MAGA person that's supporting Steve Bannon for a variety of reasons. One, it looks like he signed up to try to rehabilitate a person who committed horrendous sex crimes. You hear him in the interview with Jeffrey Epstein. He doesn't say nobody in prison talked to you about being a pedophile. He doesn't call him out. He's trying to be polite to him, it seems. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And there's something like 19 other hours of tape that have yet to been released that Steve Bannon says that he's keeping because he was some sort of double secret agent and was going to really try to blow Jeffrey Epstein up. Well, Roger Stone.
Oh, he was trying to blow Jeffrey Epstein. You know, maybe not blow him up, but
others in the MAGA universe think.
Are any of us a single step closer to control politically, etc.? Every day, baby. Every day our movement grows. Every day our movement grows. We're one step closer.
That's a crock. And if Steve Bannon is going to be out there trying to defend himself, he better get out there quickly because the narrative does not look good for Steve Bannon at this point. It looks like he was out there to line his pockets defending a sex offender.
How do you think the president will react to all of this?
Listen, so I you know, Steve Bannon got a pardon at one point in time along the route here. You know, we know that they were close. I am, you know, from what I hear lately is that there have not been that much communication with Steve Bannon and any senior officials in the administration.
TMZ has a new pic of Andrew with a kid playing with a ball that's painted like a breast with a nipple protruding from it. What the fuck? Former Prince Andrew turned fun bags into kicks for kids with some very unprincely photos obtained by TMZ. No, I'm not going to throw a fa in there. This is disgusting. Bro, this guy, put him under the prison. What are we doing? What the fuck? I don't even know if it's like, if these are like weird coincidences or if it's just like, he's just a straight up like Illuminati style sex pervert.
In lieu of these revelations, and I can't imagine that the 25th Amendment revelation inures him to the president any more than he you know, he's far away, getting further, and I know that this most recent revelation is going to push that boat even further away from this administration.
Yeah, again, we'll have to see if the president is asked in any detail about this, but that comment about the 25th Amendment was 2018. It's hard to imagine what was going through Bannon's head at that point. David Urban, thank you for explaining the discussions that are taking place.
Not going away, John. Not going away.
Doesn't appear to be. David Urban, thank you.
A new twist in the Epstein files is playing out as we speak. Les Wexner, the billionaire former owner of Victoria's Secret, is giving congressional testimony, a deposition in Ohio, about his connections to Jeffrey Epstein. Just a short time ago, Wexner told lawmakers, quote, "I was conned, I have done nothing wrong, and I have nothing."
Yeah, these guys all love coming out and being like, I'm a victim, by the way.